There are so many new electric SUVs debuting this year with one shared goal of trying to take down the Tesla Model Y, which was one of the best-selling vehicles period in 2021. It's a tough goal because this already amazing car is expected to have some more cool new features coming in the first half of this year to make it even better. Now, I was lucky enough to spend a day with a brand new 2022 Tesla Model Y Performance, and in this video, I'll give you my hands-on first impressions review. Now, this Model Y was built in January, and it's the dual motor performance model that goes 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And you can tell if a Tesla is a performance model by the dual motor badge. If it's underlined in red, then it's performance. It has an estimated range of 303 miles on a full charge and comes with 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, performance brakes, lowered suspension, and aluminum alloy pedals. Of course, all Teslas now come with black trim, and this has the optional red multi-coat paint that sort of changes color depending on what kind of light is hitting it, so it looks a tad bit different in bright sunshine compared to in the shade or at dusk. It's something that I've always loved about my red Model 3. This Model Y also has the upgraded white interior with a second row that has adjustable seat backs, along with fold flat second row and electronic fold flat releases in the trunk. Now, something to keep in mind is that the 7-seat Model Y with third row seating is not available for performance models. And all Teslas come in standard with autopilot, which maintains speed and keeps within its lane, but this one has the optional $12,000 full self-driving add-on, which gives it more driver assistance features like navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, auto park, summon, and traffic light and stop sign control, along with any future FSD features. So after all the options, this is an $80,000 car, which is expensive to say the least, but does it live up to its price tag? Now, almost 2 years ago, I accompanied a friend when he picked up his performance Model Y, which was one of the very first ones ever made. And after seeing this 2022 model, it does seem like Tesla has improved the fit and finish since then. There are no panel gaps or odd defects that I could see, and the build quality has definitely gotten better since I took delivery of my Model 3 nearly 4 years ago. And that's a great sign because that is always a question mark for Tesla owners when they go to pick up their new car. However, the one thing that the owner mentioned that he disliked was the amount of force it takes to shut the doors. And this seems to be a common complaint from Model Y owners. Compared to other cars, you have to slam the doors harder to completely shut them. And this is something I have not noticed on my Model 3, so it may have something to do with the newer doors or something that's Model Y specific, which is kind of interesting. Now, the interior features the 15-inch center touchscreen display that controls nearly all aspects of the car. And since Tesla gives 1 month of free premium connectivity to all new owners, this has the useful satellite view option of the navigation map area, which I've always been a big fan of. The refreshed interior with the new center console debuted in late 2020, and it features quite a bit of closed-off storage along with a wireless charging pad for 2 smartphones. The power adjustable seats are the same seats as the Model 3, but they're on a raised platform, which makes it really easy to get in and out of, and with a better vantage point while driving. And even for me, as a pretty tall guy, I'm able to fit comfortably in the back seats with enough head and leg room, which is great. But although I can fit in it, the middle back seat is pretty uncomfortable to sit in because it is really firm and almost hard. So just know you can fit 3 people back there, but the person in the middle is probably not going to be happy if it's a long trip. Now, the spacious room and extra storage are obviously the best things about the Model Y when compared to a Model 3. It has a deep front area that is always handy for storing extra items, and of course there is the automatic hatchback liftgate in the back that allows quick folding of the back seats to maximize cargo room, and there's even additional storage in the lower compartment area. So in total, this has 76 cubic feet of cargo space, which is always nice for families or people who travel with a lot of gear. Now, like all Teslas, the Model Y is one of the safest vehicles on the road with its low center of gravity and rigid structure. The performance Model Y has Tesla's all-wheel drive with 2 ultra-responsive independent electric motors that digitally control torque to the front and rear wheels for better handling, traction, and stability control. Now, as you can see, we were driving this in the snow, and I tested it out by swerving back and forth in this vacant lot, and it seems to handle it well, even though I was going at fairly low speeds. However, the ride is definitely a bit bumpy, especially with these 21-inch wheels, I've heard from others that the Model Y suspension is not that great anyway, so if you want the best ride quality in a Model Y, you may want to opt for the long-range model with the 19-inch Gemini wheels to try to minimize the bumpiness as much as possible. Not only is it cheaper to go that route, but you'll also get a little more range out of those smaller wheels. Now, we all know that cars are depreciating assets, meaning they lose value over time, so it's always a good idea to counter that by having appreciating assets that gain value over time, such as art, and Masterworks is a modern way of doing just that. So far this year, the stock market has had pretty disappointing returns. Almost every top equity firm is projecting real returns of 5% or less, and Morningstar is even predicting negative growth. Now, this is why it's important to diversify into alternative assets such as art. Contemporary art prices actually outpaced the S&P 500 total return by 164% from 1995 to 2021. In fact, 2/3 of billionaire collectors allocate between 10% and 30% of their overall portfolio to art. Now, in the past, investing in high-value art required a lot of money up front, but Masterworks is changing that with their unique platform that lets you access their exclusive investments so you can easily invest in the very same art that billionaires do for just a fraction of what they pay. Getting started with Masterworks is really simple and takes just a few clicks. Just visit their website, create an account, browse their artwork, and you can diversify your portfolio with a long-term plan to own the art, or if you don't want to wait until they find a buyer, Masterworks offers a secondary market where you can sell your shares to another member, gain priority access to Masterworks, and help support my channel by clicking the link in the description to sign up for Masterworks today. Now, speaking of range, this performance Model Y has an estimated range of over 300 miles, but you will not get that if you're enjoying the funnest aspect of this car, which is obviously the performance. It's right there in the name. The 0 to 60 launch in under 4 seconds still makes me queasy anytime I do it. And although it'll make you smile and laugh, if you're constantly hitting that accelerator pedal, you'll likely see a higher watt-hour per mile in the trip section of the display, which will eventually lead to lower efficiency and getting less than 300 miles of range on a full charge. Now, the cold winter temperature also negatively affects range, even though the heat pump in the Model Y should help a little bit in cold climates. Now, as a driver, the interior is very comfortable. The front seats feel plush. I love the feel of the vegan leather steering wheel compared to my Model 3's leather steering wheel. However, the view out of the rear view mirror is still a big complaint of mine about the Model Y. It's very narrow and it doesn't show much, but Tesla does make up for this with their backup camera and rear side cameras, which for some reason look clearer and more crisp on this Model Y than my Model 3 cameras. I thought it may be because they're just cleaner, but I wouldn't be surprised if the exterior cameras that Tesla puts in all their cars have been upgraded since I got mine. I don't recall any news about it, but it would make sense because ever since mid-2021, Tesla has completely ditched radars for their autopilot and full self-driving features, and they've gone to vision only, meaning they're only using the cameras and software to achieve their driver assistance technology. So better cameras would make sense, but either way, for whatever reason, the camera feeds seem to be better than mine. Now that brings me to the autopilot and FSD experience with this radarless vision-only Model Y. I only enabled autopilot for a short amount of time, so I'm not going to have a good grasp of the current state of it, but it behaved normally from my quick time with it. Elon has promised that removing radar is the best choice because it was interfering with data, but as a Model 3 owner that drove autopilot for years with radar enabled, I do miss my radar from time to time. Elon and Tesla engineers are much smarter than me though, so I'm trusting them. But I really hope that the phantom braking and things like that improve with these new radarless Tesla vehicles. But Tesla Autopilot and FSD are still the best driver assistance systems right now, in my opinion. Even with the periodic phantom braking or lack of radar, it is completely invaluable and almost priceless at this point for me over the long term, and it's one of the best benefits of owning a Tesla. Now, the biggest questions I had about this car were regarding the new features that were revealed recently. Does it have these new features, and was it built at the Tesla Gigafactory with the new 4680 structural battery pack? Well, let's first go over the new features coming to the Model Y and Model 3 that were recently announced in an internal post. Now, these changes should be completed by Q2 of this year, and Tesla is not currently offering any of these new options as retrofits. The processor is being upgraded from the outgoing Intel Atom to an AMD Ryzen, which is a second generation quad-core 8-thread processor. Now, the Ryzen should make the touchscreen even faster and more snappy than it already is. The 12-volt lead-acid battery is getting replaced with a lithium-ion low-voltage battery, which is lighter easier to replace, more efficient, better for the environment, and tends to have much longer battery life. So if you don't know, every Tesla has a small battery in the front to control the lower powered electronics. And unfortunately, this lead acid version that they've been putting in up until now seems to die sooner than expected, which could leave a driver stranded. So this lithium ion version is a much welcomed upgrade. A new heated wiper is coming to help unfreeze the wiper from the lower part of the windshield, which will be nice in cold climates. Tesla has also removed a speaker from the center instrument panel, going from 14 total to 13 speakers in the car to reduce complexity and redundancy with no noticeable difference in sound quality. Now, the removed speaker is probably the one located at the front passenger feet area. And of course, the biggest upgrade everyone is waiting for is the new 4680 battery that has higher energy density and will increase range and reduce mass due to the new structural battery design. Now, Tesla recently said the first vehicle to feature the new 4680 battery cells is going to be the Model Y produced at the Texas Gigafactory, and they plan to deliver those first new Model Ys by the end of the quarter. And most likely, based on Tesla's track record in the past, the performance versions will take priority over others. So there's a good chance that the performance Model Ys will be the first to get the 4680 battery, although that hasn't been confirmed by Tesla. Unfortunately, this particular Model Y performance, which was produced in January, does not appear to have any of these new features yet. It was built in Fremont, it still has the Intel Atom processor, and it definitely does not have the 4680 batteries, although there's no way to officially tell from the info that's on the screen. It's going to be interesting to see how Tesla decides to start rolling out the new 4680 Model Ys, because they'll either have to limit power and or range to keep the price the same, or they will have to sell a more expensive version, which I don't see them doing. It seems to be too complicated to go that route. Either way, the 2022 Model Y performance is still one of the best SUVs on the market. Yes, it's expensive, but if you have the budget for it, you're getting an all-electric, high-performing car with over 300 miles of estimated range, access to over 30,000 Tesla superchargers, and a spacious, comfortable interior that should stand the test of time. Big thanks to Noah for letting me check out his Model Y. I hope you enjoyed this quick first impressions video. Be sure to subscribe to see more Tesla and tech videos in the future. My name is Andy. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.